What up? It's your Incredible Man. Yes, I'm back at it again, and this is Black Clover episode 113 discussion slash review. Now, this episode, for the most part, it was good, and I'm just gonna be honest. But in certain scenes, you could tell that the animation was lacking in certain scenes to me. Um, but I understand why because I could tell that they focus more so on they really put a lot of animation towards the fight between Melirona and Veto and the fight between Fuegolan and the new captain of the Purple Orcas. So I can tell that they put like of the a lot of the animation budget towards those particular fights because they were zooming in and there was a lot of movement in the Melirona and Veto fight, and there was a lot of movement going on with that. So I can, and they also, like they had the animation for when Asta and everyone else jumped through the portal. So I can tell why the animation was lacking in certain parts, and I know where that particular part of the budget went to because it went to those fights. Now I'm not upset. I just really wanted to point that part out because it was just one of those things that I noticed watching this episode. And like I said, it was still a good episode because the latter half of this whole episode, I really, really enjoyed. And I just love having the whole comparison between Fuegolan and Meirona. It was such a nice thing. I mean, siblings, I'm an only child, I don't know, but siblings have that nice rivalry, and Black Clover handles it very, very beautifully with siblings. I mean, like, whether it's with the whole Silva family and finding out that Nozel really cared for Noelle and he just treated her like that so she would, because he wanted to protect her and keep her safe because she reminded him so much of his mother, and that's a promise that he made to his mother. Or having Fenrir and his brother have that whole conflict. Uh, Mimosa and her brother, they don't have any conflict, but they're whole back and forth where he's just, I'm so beautiful, and she's like, oh, shut up. So and then having the Fuegolan sibling, having the Vermilion siblings, and it's nice to see that. I mean, the Vermilion siblings, have their whole little thing, and it's nice seeing that as well. And that this episode for me, for the siblings, it felt so good because let's be real. The highlight of this episode was when the whole thing happened was when Fuegolan and Melirona both appeared when these two random elves started to attack everyone else that was relaxing and recuperating their magic. That scene where they popped up and just stopped everybody, and Asta's look on his face and his whole like Fuegolan and Melirona. Yeah, that his excitement was the same excitement that I felt watching them come into this scene and save everyone and just reappear on camera because they've been gone for a minute. We knew that Fuegolan had woken up and we knew that Melirona was resting and recuperating, but to see them come back to the scene and just save everyone, it was nice. It was nice. And I know that like all of the royals are they're related, they're like cousins and stuff. But having Fuegolan in that whole scene where he saved everyone and he's looking around and all of a sudden he spots Nozel spots him, and they're looking at each other, and he was like, I'm glad you're back on the battlefield. And he was like, had to go and get Salamander, huh? So Salamander chose you. Had to one up me. But that's okay because I'm still going to out top you. So it was nice to have that whole thing going. We also had Solid telling Noelle that I know that you're stronger than me right now, so you go over there to the portal and support everyone that needs help, and I'll help the Black Bulls and keep the elves at bay. But one day, I'm going to be stronger because I am your older brother. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, these sentimental and emotional moments in this episode was phenomenal. They didn't even focus on them that hard, but for them to show them and showcase them in this episode, it really stood out to me, and that's something I love about Black Clover. Even with Aston, they're foster siblings, but they have that whole sibling thing to where they compete with each other, and they always trying to one up each other, and that's what I love. And then how they look out for the sister in their other foster siblings. It's so crazy, man. I love it. I love how, and it's just something that's so wonderful because every time I see like these tidbits of the emotional parts and everything, it always takes me back to you guys. If you're One Piece fans, just watching One Piece, man, in certain scenes and moments, you sit on the sideline and you're watching and you tear up, man. You feel excuse me, you feel some type of way when certain scenes happens, and like when Ace died, let's be real, everybody boo-hoo cried. I know I did. I was over there like, I know Ace ain't dead. I know it. I know he ain't dead. Yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like certain moments in Black Clover, they don't make me boo-hoo cry, but they make me feel emotional and heavy. If you get what I'm saying, because they're so real. Like they're real moments. Like you can tell. Like we see these people. They were garbage when we were first introduced to them. I'm using the Silver family in this in this instance, but then they turned around and they started treating their sister like somebody. Well, we know why Nozel did it, but then the other two siblings, we learn and we see that them treating their sister some type of way. It was so fantastic, man. I loved it, and this episode really emphasized on the siblings aspect, if you ask me, because then in the back half of this whole episode with the fights between Melirona and Veto and the New Purple Orca's captain and Fuegolan, we have like a whole comparison with Fuegolan and Melirona, and there's a flashback. We see little Melirona, we see little Fuegolan. They're going back and forth. We see a little lion cub, and then it's full grown, and we see them full grown, and then we dive into the whole fight of the Tuesday of the blood and fire or something, like their whole fight that like they caused a fight and it's just remembered in the kingdom. so I love this whole episode, and that wasn't I don't think that's what they were really trying to go for this whole episode, but that's what I got out of it. It was just that good. The beginning of the episode, like I said, it picked up in the latter half. The beginning was just a nice, simple, put together method. We have Mimosa feeling some type of way because she's helping Asta. We have Noelle feeling some type of way because everybody else is involved with Asta and she likes them and she doesn't really want anyone to know or doesn't want to act on her feelings. And then we have Susie coming and touching and rubbing all on Asta and was like, oh, well, he promised I can do whatever I want. I didn't say whatever. And we have Noelle getting upset, and the way she looked when Magma was telling her Magna was telling her like, hey, well, hey, no, Lady No, just chill out a little bit. And she was like, shut up, I'm not talking to you. And then like the cold stare in her eyes, like, I'm royalty. Okay. I still have seniority. So then after that, like we realized that like everybody is trying to rush to the portal because they notice that it's trying to close. And in that moment, we have one of the most beautiful scenes. And you guys, this is why I love the Black Bulls. We have Magna and Vanessa pretty much taking over, like, because I think they have more seniority than everyone else. And we have them taking over and saying, you guys go through the portal. We, the Black Bulls, will stay here and combat all of the elves that's trying to block you. So we have, and they told the captains to go ahead and go. So we have Nozel, Fuegolan and Melirona, they're going through the portal. And then at that time, Hirsch tells Mimosa she needs to go so she can help heal people that needs healing. And she feels like, oh yes, I can go because Asta's going. And at that time, Magna tells Asta he needs to go because they can use his sword, but come back. So, because there's plenty of elves here. And this was such a great episode. It wasn't like super action packed. Like it picked up with the action at the end. There was just like little flashes and they just dove around in the fight. It really didn't just dive into like a full-fledged fight. It was just little mini parts of a fight. And then we have Solid telling Noelle, you go, and I'm the older brother, and I know that you're stronger than me now, but I will be stronger than you one day because I'm the older brother. It was just such a nice moment and scene, man. So then we have all of these people flying into the portal, and they get separated. Once they get separated, we have Asta and Mimosa together. We have Fuegolan by himself. We have Melirona by herself. They didn't show Nozel, but then we have, well, he's got to be by himself. But then we have Noelle by herself, and she's fighting Fana. Well, the new reincarnation of Fana, because she's not the Fana that we knew. She's a newer Fana, because, you guys know, you followed the story. So, now we're going to break off into some fights, and it's going to happen. And I'm super excited about next week's episode, man. And I know I rambled a lot at the beginning of this video, but I just really felt like I wanted to get that out because that's what this episode was for me. There was fights and everything, but it really focused heavily on the sibling aspect for everyone to me. And I love that about Black Clover. It does that very, very well. in that aspect, man. But this is your boy, Incredible. Don't forget to smash that like button until you can't smash it anymore. Comment down below, and I'll be sure to respond to each and every one of them. And subscribe, but only if you really want to, man. And remember that anime matters, anime is greatness, and anime is life, man. Peace out.
Are we gonna play now? Ready for the show? I'm about to take down, you already know. Get the fuck out of my face now, yeah, you gotta